Welcome back, Super Friends. Today we are going to be using multiplication and division with line plots. So you'll need your math notebook or folder, pencil to write with, and don't forget that super brain of yours. Stay tuned for the video. All right, Super Friends, we are going to be multiplying and dividing with line plots. We've been practicing adding and subtracting with line plots, meaning that whatever numbers we have are mixed numbers or whole numbers, we've been adding and subtracting them. But now we're going to get into multiplying and dividing them. So let's look at the first example. Like always, it's important to write down that line plot with the x's plotted so that we can answer the question. Marlana has 7 bags of sugar. The line plot below shows how much sugar is in each bag. If the sugar was redistributed equally into the 7 bags, how much sugar would be in each bag? So first of all, let's attack the word so we can understand the problem. They're saying Marlana has the 7 bags of sugar, right? So that means that there's 7 X's. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct. So we found that out. Now it says if the sugar was redistributed equally. Redistributed equally means like you're sharing equally, which means you're dividing. So that means divide. So it says if we divide the sugar into the 7 bags, how much sugar would be in each bag? So what that means that we do is we take the amount of sugar in each bag, meaning these lines, so where they're plotted, if we take the amount of sugar in each bag, get the total, and then divide them by the 7 bags, how much would be in each bag? That's basically what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, we need to figure out what these numbers are that we're going to add so that we can actually add them. All right, so this first one says it's right after the 1, right? So let's figure out what our denominator is going to be. So I know it's going to be 1, and I know our denominator is going to be 4, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines by the time I get to the next whole number. Now, which line is it on? It's on the first line after the 1. So my numerator is 1. So this x is 1 1/4. So that means that I'm going to start adding 1 1/4. Now, this is where we get to our multiplication. If there's 3 of one number, I can multiply 3 times that mixed number and get my answer, so it's easier to add. So I have 1, and then the denominator is 4. Which line is it on? It's on the 1, 2, the second line, so that's 2/4. So if I'm doing 2/4 times 3, what is that going to give me? Let's go ahead and make this improper. That's going to be 4 times 1 plus 2 is 6 over 4 times 3. I get 18 up top, 4 on the bottom. So now I'm adding plus 18 over 4. Okay, next one. Next one is going to be 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 1 and 3 over 4. And then again, I have to multiply that by 3 because it's there 3 times. Let's get it by 3. That means we have to make this improper. That's going to be 4 times 1 plus 3 is 7 over 4 times 3 over 1. I get 21 on top, and I get 4 on the bottom. So now I'm adding 21 over 4. Okay, cool. So we will start adding this out, and then our answer, you see our answer is in mixed numbers, so we'll have to get our answer back into mixed number. All right, so adding this all together, let's do our fractions first, because the fractions are going to be bigger to deal with. So I'd rather deal with them first. So I have 1 plus 18 is 19. Then I have 19 plus 21. 19 plus 21 equals 0, regroup. That's 4. So it's 40. And then I bring over that 1 that I have left over, that 1 whole. So I have 1 whole and 40 over 4. Okay, so what does 40 over 4 equal? I wonder. Let's figure that out. Okay, so 40 over 4, well, we have our one here. 40 over 4 is saying how many 4s can I get out of 40? Well, we can get 4, 8, let me write this down. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 32, 36, 40. Oh, okay. Which number is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I missed something. 4, 18, or 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. I missed 28. So then that's our 10th. So now I have 1 plus 10, which equals 11. So now I have 11 here. And we basically got rid of our fraction. We turned that into a 10 because it's 40 divided by 4. So we're all done with that. Now we have our 11. And remember, we're going to divide our 11 by the 7 bags that we have. 7 bags. Okay, so now that looks like 11 over 7. How many 7s can I get out of 11? 1. What's left over if we do 11 minus 7? That's 4. So 4 is our numerator and our denominator won't change. So that's 7. 1 and 4/7. Which answer is that? That will be D. That would be how much is in each bag. I know this looked a little crazy. We had to do so many steps. First, we had to add up every amount for each X. So we had 7 X's, so we had to add 7 numbers together. Then once we got those numbers, we had to divide our answer by 7 bags because we were dividing it equally. And then once we got that final answer is when we found our answer for how much would be in each bag, which was the 1 and 4/7. So the first step was adding everything up that we saw marked on the line plot. Second step was to take that answer once we added it and divide it by the 7 bags that we needed to get our final answer, which was 1 and 4/7 pounds. Let's do the next example. All right, Jeffrey has 6 containers of water. The line plot shows how much water is in each container. If the water was redistributed equally into 6 containers, how much water would be in each container? All right, so this is, again, we're going to add everything up, then we're going to divide our answer, or divide that addition answer by the 6 containers to get our final answer. So let's go ahead and figure out what our numbers are. So I see that we have an X right here before the 1, so let's see how many lines that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means our denominator is going to be a 4. And which line is it on? 1, 2, 3. It's on the 3rd. So I have 3/4 first. And then the next one is going to be 4/4 because it's going to be 1 whole. Then the next one after this, I know this is a 4th, 4th, 4th. So it's going to be 1 and 1/4 here. 1 and 2/4 here. 1 and 3/4 here. And that's twice times 2. All right, so 1 and 1/4, 1 and 2/4, 1 and 3/4, and I'll just add it again, another 1 and 3/4. Whoa, baby, let's get to adding. That's a lot of adding. All right, so if we add these together, we get 7/4, 7 over 4. If we add these together, we get 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 3/4, 2 and 3/4. If we add these two together, we get 3 plus 3 is 6/4, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 and 6/4. 2 and 6/4. Okay. Now let's try to simplify this even more. I want us to add all of our fractions together because I see there's a lot of improper fractions, and I know we need to get them all easy for us to be able to divide by 6 later. So let's start adding these. 7/4 plus 3/4 equals 10/4. 10/4 plus 6/4 equals 16/4. So I have 16/4. But that should trigger something in our head. What is 16 divided by 4? That equals 4, right? So then now we know that that's 4, but we also have these 2 plus 2 over here. So let's bring those over. And what does that give us total? 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. And then remember, we're doing 8 divided by the 6 containers. Containers. This looks crazy. Let me write it normally. 6 containers. Great. So that's going to look like what? A fraction, because it'll be 8 over 6. How many times can I get 6 out of 8? 1 time. What would be left over? Well, that would just be 8 minus 6, which is 2. So our numerator is 2. Our denominator won't change. So that'd be 6. It should be 1 and 2/6 of a gallon. And which answer does that look like? Looks like our B. So this is our answer here. So this one was a little better. It was a lot of adding. I didn't do too much multiplying, but we did do dividing at the end. So we added everything up. We chunked it together. We found easier ways to get an answer by adding and then converting things into whole numbers. And then once we got our final answer of 8, we divided that answer by 6 containers, and we got our final answer of 1 and 2/6 gallons. Let's go to our last example. All right, number 3. It says Miss Granger created the following line plot to represent the time in hours each student plans to work on a science project. She wants to redistribute the number of hours so that each student does an equal amount of work. So redistribute means we're dividing. So how many hours should each student work on the science project? We are dividing this. Okay, so let's see how many students we have total so we know what we're going to divide by. So we're going to count the X's to tell us how many students there are. Students, which are the X's. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 students. That means that when we get to after we add everything together, when we start dividing, we're going to divide by 5 so that we can redistribute equally. So let's figure out our first one. Oh, these look easy. How many numbers? They gave us more numbers than usual. Let's see what our denominator is going to be. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4 again. So I know my denominator is 4. This is on the first line. So my numerator is 1, and then my whole number is 4. So I have 4 and 1/4 twice. So I'm going to do 4 and 1/4 plus 4 and 1/4. And this one I have 5. But for this one, I know that this would say 4 and 4/4 if I needed that. But I mean, we could just add the 5. I don't think it would be too crazy to just keep it at a 5. The one after that is going to be 5 and 1/4 plus 5 and 1/4. And lastly, this one's going to be 6 and 1/4 plus 6 and 1/4. All right, let's start chunking. So these two, if we add them together, 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. So it's going to be 8 and 2/4 plus 5 plus 5 is 10. And then 1/4. We bring down the 1/4. And lastly, we have the 6 and 1/4. Okay, so let's get our fractions together because I see I can make a 1 whole. So 2/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals what? That equals 4/4, which equals what? 1 whole. So now I can just add all the whole numbers together. So let's start adding the whole numbers together. That's 8 plus 10 plus 6 plus 1. That equals 18. 18 plus 6 equals 22. No, sorry, 18 plus 6 equals 24. 24 plus 1 equals 25. If we didn't know, we can just add that here. I'm going to chunk these two together. So 18 plus 7. 8 plus 7 is 15, regroup, and that gives us 25. So I was correct. 25 here. And then what are we dividing by? Dividing by our 5 students. Oh, this is so easy. Does this give us a fraction? Yes, it does. That fraction looks like 25 over 5, which equals what? 25 divided by 5 equals 5. So it'd be 5 hours. So our answer is A. That one was nicer to us. It was easier to deal with, but it was the same steps. We add everything together, then we divide. All right, use these notes to help you with today's problems.